Hey guys, this video is here to show you how handy it can be to have virtual machines on standby for testing different software. Now, as you can see in Hyper-V Manager here, I've got a Windows 7 client, a Windows 10 client, Windows 8.1 and a Server 2012 R2 client. I've gone through and set these up with the preliminary steps, but I haven't actually gone through and installed the operating systems onto these virtual machines yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So we're going to go connect to Windows 7 first of all. We're going to start this up. As you can see, it's booting up now. We'll go into Windows 10 and do the exact same thing. So action start. Again, Windows 8.1, connect, action start. And finally, Server 2012, connect, action and start. We'll minimise the Hyper-V Manager down for now and we'll focus on setting up these 4 virtual machines. So we'll go through and just set them all up one by one. I'm just set them up with defaults for now. I'm not really fussed about what the actual specific settings are because that can be changed later if we need to anyway. But this is, like I said, just for testing anyway, and just to show you how handy it can be to test with virtualized machines. So going through these now, get them all set up. As you can see, probably just whipping through them on your screen, going through them one by one. Okay, so that is 8.1, that's installing now. Windows 7 is installing now as well. I'm going to skip the product key for Windows 10, and then for Server 2012, let's get this started as well. This one's a little bit further behind. Set the terms for Windows 10, install that. We want the Server 2012 GUI, accept that, and then we're going to start that off as well on the 50 gig hard drive partition they've all got 50 gig each. Oh, okay, so you can see them all running there, all 4. Right, I'll leave you to it. I'll come back in a minute once they're finished installing. Let's do this then. So as you can hopefully see there, Task Manager's open on the left hand side, and you can actually see that it's using 100% of the hard drive, 14 out of the 16 gig of RAM, and 90% of the and 90% of the CPU usage. Not long now. Like I said, all 4 of these are going at once. They're nearly all done already. It's a really efficient way of doing virtualization. It's a really efficient way of testing operating systems. So as you can see there, Windows 7 at the front, 99%, and the machines will all start to reboot shortly. Hey guys, so there we go. As you can see, obviously fast forward the video there, setting all the accounts up on these locally. So all of these computer accounts obviously have a Jake account with a password set. And from here we can go and configure remote desktop, so we can obviously RDP to these clients without actually having to view them on the screen, which is a lot easier. So by this I mean you can go so to do this we can go to the Start button. On Windows 7 that is, right click on computer properties, remote settings, obviously we want to allow remote connections to this PC, apply. Okay, there's already full access to that anyway, simple as that. On Windows 10 we can do the same thing, so File Explorer, this PC, we can go to properties, remote settings, and allow remote desktop to this computer, apply that. There you go. Okay, we want to rename this as well. I just need to rename this computer as well at the same time, so it's going to be JB10, so I know which one to connect to. It'll ask us to reboot. Okay, I can restart now while I'm waiting. Let's do 8.1. Same thing applies here, so we'll enable remote desktop on this one as well. So remote settings, allow remote connections, any version of Windows. Okay. And then finally on the server here, we'll go to Server Manager, Local Server. And then remote desktop is here, which is currently disabled as standard. Okay, allow all connections. Now we may need to turn off the firewall on all 4 VMs, but to test this we can go to your command prompt. You can go to mstsc. You could type in you could type in your computer name, so in my case JB-7 for the first one. If it connects straight away, then you don't need to turn off the firewall. Yeah, so you can see from that you actually do need to turn off the firewall. The Windows firewall is blocking that connection. So when we go to Control Panel, System and Security, and the firewall, we'll go to turn Windows Firewall on or off. And because it's behind your own system anyway, there's nothing really to worry about. And you normally have antivirus on your system anyway, so not anything to worry about really. So okay, again, go to mstsc and JB-7 or whatever your computer name is. There you go, straight away let me through. So the local computer account will be Jake and then 1234 is the password I set. Okay, you can see that's allowing me through, and there we go. So now we've actually remote desktoped onto that virtual machine. So what that means is we can now obviously either minimize this down and then close the session, or we can just go full screen on the actual VM rather than RDP. So RDP is running like this, or we can close this down, reopen the VM from Hyper-V Manager. There it is. Log back in, because obviously it's session based. And then you could, if you wanted to, rather than RDP, you could go to View Full Screen Mode, which is very similar. So it's a pretty cool way of doing it. So now we know we've got onto Windows 7, we can close that one down. That's done. Let's do the same with Windows 8. So let's see what the firewall's doing. So mstsc, JB-8. I would have thought it will block it as default. Oh no, the standards have changed. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Save that. Have I not named my user account? I have. Have I not set the password? Change my bloody password. There we go. So the password's changed now, so we should be able to get RDP'd onto that. We might need to put the domain name in first, or computer name. Let's try that. Okay, so let's try JB-8/Jake, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably just got a bit confused. Yep, there we go. So that'll connect us. There we go. Yes, and there we go. So now we're RDP'd onto the Windows 8.1 machine, as you can see. There it is, nice and buggy as always. Brilliant. So that's working. So we'll come out of that as well. And we can close that session down. Okay, Windows 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do the same on this one as well. So we'll go to this PC, right click Properties, Remote Settings. Okay, I thought we'd done this already. I'm losing the plot today, people. Right, so let's go ahead and connect to that one. mstsc again. JB-10 it was. I wonder if this needs the firewall turning off. It looks like that way. It looks like it needs the firewall turning off, me. Control panel. System and security. Windows firewall. Turn off firewall. Firewall's off. So let's try again. Either that or I haven't turned it on yet. No, there you go. Yeah, just the firewall blocking that. So this is JB-10/Jake and 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go, straight onto that. Yes, connect. Okay, so there we go. We're now connected to that as well once it feels like logging in. There we go. So that's Windows 10. Come on. Oh, it's really... The first Windows 10 release was so buggy. This is the RTM, so it hasn't actually got any updates installed. So I'll need to just restart that in a minute. I'll reset it. There we go. Right, I'll reset that. That's running. And then finally, we'll go to the server now. We've enabled the remote desktop on it. We'll need to turn off the firewall because as standard servers have it on. Unless you join it to the domain, then the domain firewall takes over. So no, we don't want it on. No, we don't want it on. Brilliant. Right, so let's RDP to the server next. So MSTSC, and it was JB-SRV. As you can see, so we want JB-SRV/administrator, because I'm logged in as the local admin, and you have to have a password complexity password on as default if you haven't turned it off in the local security policy. So yeah, let's get connected to that, and it should be it should log me onto the server. Get your words out, Jake. There we go. We're connected to the server now as well. Okay, so let's take a step back. Let's close all this down and get back to the original point of this, and get back to the point of virtualization and testing software. Alright guys, so as you can see there, Task Manager is running on the host. You can see that with 4 VMs running and the host itself, it's using 40% of the CPU. It's an overclocked processor, and it's using roughly 10% of the hard drive, the SSD in it, and almost half, just over half the memory allocated. So let us connect to this share I've got on my desktop here on the virtual machines to launch Ninit to install some applications. Okay, so let's go to MSTSC and let's connect to one of the machines that are running in the background. So if we go to the virtual machine manager, Hyper-V manager, you'll see that all of the VMs are still running. They're just kind of closed. The sessions aren't really open on your screen. That's all it is. They're running in the background, using the resources, but not actually displaying anything, almost like the screen's not attached. So what you can do is you can either double click on them to connect to them and use them like this, or you can RDP to them for full screen access, which is a bit quicker and more efficient in my opinion if you've got multiple VMs on your machine. So let's go and connect to Server 2012 first of all. Okay, so we'll close down the Hyper-V manager, we'll connect to the server, so connect. It should ask us to connect to it, yes, there we go. And there we go, straight onto the server. So now we are RDP'd full screen onto the Server 2012 installation that we have running. I'm going to connect to a share on my PC, so it is JB-Corsair/share, okay? See, instantly it asks for authentication, so it's JB-Corsair/Jake, which is my local account name, and then the password on my actual host computer it's asking for. So I think what we'll do is we will connect to the share on the desktop by running to it. So JB-Corsair. Okay, and then you can see the share that I've created for myself. And there's the Ninit installer. So we'll put that on the desktop. Let's get that running now. Run. And there we go. So we can see for a start on Server 2012 whether Chrome, WinRAR, CCP and VLC would work correctly, which is obviously a brilliant way of testing if you didn't want to obviously do it on a live server. So that will obviously go ahead and install now. While I'm waiting for that, we'll go over to another one of the virtual machines. Let's do the Windows 7 one, so JB-7. Again, it'll ask me to connect, yes. We'll get onto the machine now, it'll log my session in. Again, I'll connect to the share by going to network. It probably asks us to, oh no, there we go, network discovery is auto enabled. So it is JB-Corsair/Jake, and then my local password, my host password. Sometimes it errors out. No, there we go. So we'll copy the installer across. Again, we'll run that on here. So let's check back on Windows 7. Yep, there we go. Windows 7's installing the Ninit apps as well now. Okay, again, let's go to the 8 installation. So, JB-8. Let's do that next. Again, it should ask us to connect to it. It does indeed. Creates the session, logs us in, and there we go. So let's connect to the share. Just check I can see my machine in here first. Corsair, there it is. That's not a problem. Stop being a noob. It will connect to it in a minute. Right, back with Windows 8, JB Corsair /Jake, and again I'll log in with my host password. If I've got it right, it should be fine. There we go, there's the share. Copy the file across, running it as well. Again, we can check for compatibility with all the files we want to use. Okay, so on to Windows 10 now. Again, let's get connected. So we want JB10. Again, it should ask us to connect to it. We do want to connect. Sessions created. And we log in. Doobie doobie doo doo doobie doo. Doobie 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 doo doo. Log me in. Right now. I'm waiting to use you Windows 10, mate. It's not liking it. I heard it log in just then. Come on. Where are you? There we go. Well, hey, Windows 10. Okay, so the same thing applies on here. So JB-Corsair. Oh, Corsair /share. It is. If you put the mouse down here on the taskbar, you should see it spiral, which means it's trying to find the share. Doobie doobie. There we go. So JB-Corsair /Jake, and the normal password again. And there we go. It should give us the share. What, me? Are you joking me? You gotta be joking! I just authenticated against the server! What's it talking about? What do you mean the network location cannot be reached, you little twat? Right, where are you? Right, so cancel that. Let's go to File Explorer, Network then, and JB Corsair. Oh, and it's working now, is it? Well, that doesn't make any bloody sense whatsoever. Anyway, cool. Let's launch the Ninit installer again, and again we can check for application compatibility. Okay, so there we go. So the whole point of this is we have obviously RDP to each one of the clients, okay? And then now we've launched the software, we've got it all installed, so the server's got it all installed. We can obviously check to see if they work. So let's see if Chrome works for starters. See if WinRAR works. It does indeed. See if VLC Player works. All of these are key and core essential items when you're checking for domain level access. You need to make sure that the software works when you're running a domain level environment for obvious reasons. But as you can see, this is working fine. So I'd be happy with that and say yes, they are completely compatible. Obviously you could run the compatibility checker as well from Microsoft, but this is a good way of testing. Okay, next. Windows 7's done as well. So let's see what Chrome does on Windows 7. Works fine. Can we go to our website? Yes, we can. So I'd be happy with that and say that's working. What about VLC Player? That's working fine. And WinRAR? Excellent. Okay, so there we go. You can see they're working fine. What about Windows 8? They're all installed. Chrome, what does it do? WinRAR, what does it do? VLC, what does it do? They all work fine. As you can see there. Use Chrome as the default. Can we browse to the net? Yes, we can. Brilliant. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then finally, Windows 10, which should be still installing now, I would have thought. No, it's done. There we go. Simple as that. So WinRAR, VLC, Chrome. Brilliant. So that's why it's so important to test on VMs, because the efficiency is there, the speed. You know, you don't really have to worry about setting up physical computers, you can see that all of those computers are running virtually on my system. Again, if I go back to Hyper-V Manager, you can see them all running away there. Windows 8.1 using the most, now it's not using anything. You can see that there's no toll on the system whatsoever. And that's why it's such a fantastic piece of kit to use. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I know it's a bit of a lengthy one, but I wanted to show you just how efficient and how good it is to test in a Hyper-V environment or virtualized environment. And I hope you enjoyed the video, so thanks a lot for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe to me, and I'll catch you next time. I'm Jake Billing. See you later. Bye.